relationship with the board, and goes from a 1 to a 5. 1 being poor, unsatisfactory, and a score of 5 demonstrates excellence. And in relationship with the board, keeping the board informed, working with the board, that kind of thing, Dr. Barnett was a 4.65. Community relationships, members of the community, support of the community, good relationship with news media, those kind of things. He was a 4.65. And this is the average, by the way, of all the board members. We all participated in it. We all took part in it. We all did the evaluation. His relationship with staff and personnel, developing morale, loyalty to the school system, being fair with people, and all that. 4.43. Educational leadership, understands, and the superintendent is your educational leader. And that, a lot of times that goes unsaid, but he's it. And he's a 4.7 on that. Business and finance, keeping up with all that. I don't need to say a lot about that because I can talk a lot about numbers. 4.5. And his personal qualities, how he handles pressure, how he deals with situations, how he conducts himself personally, how he works with other individuals and groups. 4.71. So you can see the scores are pretty high. The overall average is 4.61, which I think is pretty strong. And that's just in his first year and a half. So I'm like Mr. Sharp. I think Dr. Barnett has the potential to be the best superintendent we've ever had and to take this system to places it's never been. And I hope that's the case. I know I talk about this a lot. People don't like change. Our employees, when we start talking about it, don't like change. Nobody likes change. But if you're going to be better than what you are now, you have to change. And I hope that if you don't ever remember anything else that I say, you remember that. You've got to change to be better. And that's all our goal is to make the system better. So I wanted to share the evaluation with you. Like I say, I should have done that 2 months ago. The board members got their stuff to me when they were supposed to. I didn't get it done when I was supposed to. So anybody have any comments or anything you want to say in relation to the evaluation?
Appreciate the work Dr. Barnett does. I believe the scores tell the story on it. I know he's put a lot of work into it himself, and I know he's going to do bigger and better things in the future.
Yeah, the evaluations, it was pretty easy. Of course, mine's really in the other drawer, is all zeros, so.
Well, look at the average then.
It's all those zeros that brought it down to 4.61.
But I appreciate the job you do. Communication with the board is really good, and I think you're gonna do a great job.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Y'all good? Okay, all right, let me do my final speech here like Mr. Sharp did. There's several things that I think we've accomplished over the last few years, and I'm excited. And when I say this is what I hate about politics. When I start talking about these things, it comes across like I did it. And at the board level here, by yourself, you do nothing. I'll just be honest with you, you do nothing. You can't do anything without having the support of at least 2 other people with you. And we've got some things accomplished. We started the Beacon Academy last year, and I've been an advocate for that since before I came on the board. I used to talk to principals and retired principals, and I'd ask them a question: when you got the job as an assistant principal or a principal, what kind of training did you get? And it's like, I get this stare like, are you kidding? I got a call that I got the job, and that's all I got. And we put people in those positions and expect them to do a top-notch job, but we didn't do anything to train them. But that's why we got the Beacon Academy. We're developing our leaders, we're training them, we're getting them ready for those roles, responsibilities. And I can be more proud that academy is operating, and we're in our 2nd year now with that, so I'm excited about that. We developed our strategic plan. It took a lot of work to get that done, but at least now we know where we're going. and we're working on the detailed steps to help us to get all those goals and things accomplished. I was last week or a few days ago, I was watching the news, and Jan and I were watching the news, and it was the Huntsville news, and they were talking about Huntsville City school systems were starting their strategic plan. You might have seen that. And I thought, hey, we're way ahead of Huntsville City system. We've got our strategic plan essentially done, and they're just now starting on it. And they were talking about, they had this meeting where they were trying to get people to come from the public to give input, and it was either 3 or 4 people they had that came, and they were just bemoaning the fact in the interviews that they couldn't get people. Well, I could tell them how to do it. You do a survey. I mean, we figured we're smart enough in DeKalb County to figure out you're not gonna get people to come when you talk about strategic plan. That's not very exciting, but we got that done, and that's gonna pay benefits down the road. I'm excited about our Snyder project. That's gonna make a huge difference in our system. It's gonna modernize a lot of our stuff, and it's got our district-wide accreditation that we've been pushing, that's coming up. It's gonna really make us a true school system. And Mr. Sharp mentioned that, Dr. Barnett's mentioned that. That's important. We don't need everybody doing their own thing. While individuals might like to do their own thing, it doesn't benefit our system as a whole. So our district-wide accreditation is gonna help us with that. One thing we did when we first came on the board, Mr. Sharp and I, we had to convince the other board members to do that. We decentralized the hiring process. And by that I mean, used to be, the superintendent just interviewed whoever, decided who he was gonna send where, and just sent employees to schools that they didn't know who they were getting, who was coming, or anything. We worked hard on it. We had to convince our board members that it's important. It's vitally important for the principal to really be the decision maker. And here's why. Here's why. If I'm gonna hold the principal at the school responsible for making their school better, raising their test scores, raising their graduation rate, whatever criteria we wanna use, then it just makes sense that I give them the opportunity to pick their team. Because if we send them somebody they don't want, they always have the excuse, well, I didn't have any, they don't fit in well, they don't help us, they don't work out well. They have a good excuse. If they get to pick their own team and the ship goes down, we only have one person to point at, and that's the principal. So we've done decentralized hiring process, and I think that's a great idea. Career Tech has blossomed over the last few years, and I'm excited about what that's doing. We went from virtual unknown to a leader in the state, and not only in the state, in the Southeast. And our Career Tech is doing great things, and I think it's going to continue to do great things. I'm excited. We got the bus garage, got that situation resolved, and that's going to be a good fit for everybody. We purchased the pre-K office that we got over here on Highway 35. And if that ever doesn't pan out, don't worry, because we bought that property at a bargain. It's worth a lot more than what we paid for it, so we can always unload it and get way more than our money back. But we've got a premier pre-K program in the state right here, and that's exciting. So there's great things that happen in our county. A lot of times we just do a poor job of getting those messages out and letting everybody know, and I'm excited about what's going on with pre-K. We've got the fine arts program that we did countywide, and that's we got somebody, Ms. Argero's leading that, and that's great. There's a lot of things we've done. Security, that's not finished, but we're doing a lot with security, and there's still a lot to be done, but that's gonna make our students feel safe. That's gonna give our parents and our guardians some comfort on what we've got going on here. So there's a lot of work still to be done on that. We added work sessions to our board meetings. When I first came on the board, nobody wanted to talk about a work session. They didn't want to have it. They were afraid that they might run into some irate voter who had something unkind to say in the board meeting or whatever. I don't care. You wanna get mad, that's okay. I'm here to hear from you. And so we set up those work sessions so that we could get those things discussed and work out issues and work out things that were challenging us, so that when we get in a board meeting, we just have an efficient board meeting. We move right through the process and get everything done effectively and efficiently and all that. So it makes our meetings flow a lot smoother. Our IT, what I call renovations, not totally complete, but we're close. And early in my tenure, when I used to get call after call and email after email about problems and issues with the computer and the tech department, internet, I don't get those anymore. So we've made some great improvements and stride there. And security, as I mentioned, we won't ever be finished with security. That will be an ongoing, continual, every week, every day, every month, every year thing. That'll never change. And that's what. We're like 107th or something in the state rated school system. Yeah. I wanna be number one. I don't wanna move up 10 or 15 or 20 spots. I wanna go all the way to the top. I want our system to be, and there's no reason why our system can't be the best system in the state. I want people to look around and say, DeKalb County, I mean, what are they doing there that nobody else is doing? I want our system to be the best. And that's the reason I ran for the board. I want to make a difference. Not that I'm smarter than anybody, that I'm better than anybody, but I want to make it better for our students. I didn't run to get somebody a job or a position. I didn't run because I was mad at somebody or I didn't like this issue or that issue. I ran because I wanted to make a difference in the system. And for 6 years, we've worked very hard to do that. Still a lot of work left to do. The next board will get the opportunity to pick up and do that. I hope you understand what I'm going to say here. We got some people in the system who are not in it for the students. Now, the overwhelming majority are. They're here for the right reason. They're doing the right thing. They're working hard. They're passionate about it. But there's some that are not. And quite honestly, over the last 6 years, we've gotten a few of those people out of the system. We've had some challenges, but we've gotten some of those people out. In Jim Collins' book, I love his book, Good to Great, he talks about taking an organization that's good, which I think DeKalb County is, and making it great. And one of the things of doing that is getting the right people on the bus. And we've tried to hire the right people. We've tried to hire the best and the brightest and the smartest and to give our system opportunity to see. But the other part of that good to great is getting the wrong people off the bus. And as you know, in the education system, that's a little bit more of a challenge. And so we've been advocating hiring the best people. Doesn't matter for the position, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter what their qualifications are. Sometimes people don't understand that, but I have no apologies to make for that. Sometimes the decisions we make, and I shouldn't say sometimes, a lot of the times the decisions we make sitting at this table are hard decisions. And the general public doesn't understand that because they don't know all the information that we know. And even beyond that, there's a lot of that information we can't publicly share. And so sometimes there's decisions get made and people just scratch their head and say, why'd you do that? Well, if you were privy to all the information, it would help you understand that. So with the next board, just please understand sometimes things may not just totally make sense when you see the decisions they make, but there's a reason for that, and it works. I think Matt talked about vote no. I'm pretty sure I've got the record for no votes in a 6-year term.
I agree with that.
But I've always tried to make decisions with what's best for the student in mind. And when I do that, I go home, lay down on the bed, fall right asleep. I don't worry about it. Mr. Peppers, Mr. Richards, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Sharp, y'all have been a fun board to work with. This is fun, great to be around, and we've had a lot of fun. I think we've done a lot of good, accomplished a lot of things, and I appreciate your professionalism, appreciate your friendship, and I look forward to what y'all gonna accomplish in the future. And with that, I think I'm out of words. All right, gentlemen, anything else? Thank you all for being here. We're adjourned.
It wasn't clapping because you got a word, it's clapping.
They're clapping because we're done. It is,
November 29th.
November 29th.
I won't be here, but it's November 29th. At least I won't be over here.
Did you turn it up?